Hello everyone out there, welcome to Kat's Studio. Today we're having fun project in store for you. It is a cardstock house, and this one measures approximately 4.5 by 7 inches tall. The measurements for the height can be anything up to 11 inches tall if you wanted one that tall, but I made mine mostly 7, 5 and 9 inches, if that helps, tall. So I made a variation of these, or a variety, I mean. So what you're going to need today for this project, this cute little house, isn't it darling? And we're not going to cover ours today, but I'm going to show you how to cut the paper for it, because I need another white house. Most of mine I've left white. You'll need scissors, a pencil, and I use this type of a ruler. I call it a board ruler. Some cardstock, and I'm using 110-pound Recollections white and a scrap of black, and that could be 65-pound as well, but I'm using 100-pound, I think is this one. Okay, so some glue, a knife, and your scoreboard and your paper trimmer. So let's get started with the paper trimmer. And we're going to take our 2 sheets of 110-pound cardstock that's 8.5 by 11 inches to the paper trimmer, and we're going to cut that at 7 inches because that's how tall I want my house. You could cut yours at 9 inches, at 5, at 6. They're all done the same way, with the exception of the height is different. Height. I always say that wrong, don't I? Okay, so let's cut that at 7 inches. I'm cutting both at the same time. And we'll save that. And we'll take our roof, which could be white as well, and cut that at 2.5 by 7. So 2.5 by 7 inches. It's getting stuck. 7. So we have our base pieces. We have our roof, and now we're going to go over to our scoreboard. And we're first going to score the roof in half. So that was 7, so we're going to 3.5 inches. Put a light score line there so that in case it's not directly in the center, you can zhuzh it around a little bit. So let's fold and crease that right away. And set that off to the side. Actually, let's do a little... I'm taking a white pen because you can't see. Right, a pencil on there. And our board ruler. And let's go up from the edge 1/4 inch and just put a tick mark here on your roof, and the other side as well. And that's just going to be a guide for you to line up your house to. There you go. And we'll use this later. And bring back in your base, your 2 base pieces that are 7 by 8.5. And let's get our scoreboard back. Okay, we're going to take these 2 base pieces to the scoreboard, and we're going to mark the center of each one. So that is 4 1/4. Put a little tick mark there. Another 4 1/4. And now we're going to do our scoring. And on these pieces, we're scoring at 2 inches on each side. 2. Now turn it. And 2 inches. And the same for the other piece. Turn and 2 inches. And then those pieces are almost ready. So let's take those. We scored all our paper. And let's get a piece of paper towel. Put that off to the side for just a moment. And we need our board ruler again. And we're gonna mark our base pieces at 2 1/4 inches. Oops, upside down. I have a piece of glue under there. That's why it's sticking. So 2 1/4 inches down. What you're gonna do is put a line from your score line to the edge and from this score line to that edge. So this is what you will have. You will have score line, pencil line, score line, pencil line, and you will cut these out once we finish scoring and marking. So again, 2 1/4 inches. Mark that, and now we're all set to start scoring. So what we're gonna do for these is score them on the paper towel, and that is gonna give us a little bit of a give so that we can get a score line there. So line up with your knife or your scoring tool, both marks, and press, not too hard, and then go back over it. Because sometimes it has a tendency to slide a little bit. And then let's go from that score line to this pencil line. And the same on the other sheet. I've tried to do this on the scoreboard. I've not been successful yet. With that little angle tool that comes with it, I don't know how to do that, so this is how it works out best for me. And the closest to even. But by all means, if you know how to do that on your scoreboard, go right on ahead and do that. But I'm going to show you a little trick before we finish. Let's cut all our squares out. Alright, we cut all our squares out now. Now I'm going to just see if we can just bring that scoreboard back over. Because this is what I did on one of the houses that I built. Is I just, in order to get a better score line for your roof line, I have a pencil. I put a pencil, a little graphite in there from my pencil so I can see that whole line. Alright, and so if you line this up with the point here of your peak, and then that bottom edge, which you can barely see, should almost cover that, and then you can score right in there, real nice. And the same for the other side. Make sure you're in there. Now you don't have to do this step. It's not important that you do this step because you can still fold, and I'll show you, you can still fold this over without doing that. It just will be neater if you can get a good score on it. So we're gonna press all the score lines down now. houses are ready. Now, let's open this up. I'm going to take a little square that I'm going to make sure it's square, because I did cut that by hand at one side. And I'm going to make a window in this front piece. Either one, it doesn't matter which is which. I'll make a big window. So I'm just going to try and line this up, you know, from one side to the other. And you can put your little board ruler on here to make sure you're level. And that's good. And let's just pencil that in. We're just going to draw a pencil line around that. You don't have to put a window in. This is all up to you, whatever you want. I just thought I'd show you how I do it if I'm doing this. So we're going to take our craft knife and our metal ruler. Start that out. Close enough. All right, let's pop that out. Hey, that looks great. Or does it? So what we're going to do now is take a piece of this leftover cardstock and cut an 1/8 inch strips, or maybe a little smaller. And we're going to turn this over. And glue these on, like so. And I put a dab here and here, so we know where we're aiming for. Right there. Toby's crying at me again. That one. I don't know what that measurement. I'm not good with a ruler, so I'm just gonna mark that. We'll glue here, here, and pop that in there, right about in the center. Alrighty, there you have your window, and then you could put a candle inside the house once it's finished. So let's glue the house together quickly. This is the front, so we'll turn that over and glue those tabs. And then this piece gets glued to the front. Go right to that score line. Don't worry if it's not even up here, it's not going to show. Stand that up. The bottom edge is where you need it really even. And let's press that in nicely. Let me see. Alright, and then we're going to do the other piece, like so. So we're going to put the glue here. Again, it's on the front. I always put the glue on the inside of the front piece so we don't glue it backwards. And put that over here. Stand it up, make sure that it's flush on the bottom so that your house will stand up nicely. And this might be off that, you know, edge a bit. That's because it's wrapping around. It needs a little more room. Here's the front. Okay, here is another little trick for you. Take a little piece of tape. I'm using blue tape right now. You could use double-sided tape for this. Whatever works best for you. And then I'm gonna take the sides and hold them. And then I'm gonna measure, make sure that we're at 2 inches at least. So we are at 2 inches and tape that down. It would just be easier to put the roof on if we have that lined up right. And then just make sure you're square too, because it can get off a little bit from all the pressing and gluing. Measure that one. That's approximately 2, but not at the top. Okay. There we go. So then your roof will go on, like so. And there you will have cutest little house on your mantle. So let's put some glue on the roof section. Get some underneath that as well. We're gonna hold that together. A little glue here. And I wipe the edge just so we don't have it, you know, slopping around when we put it on there. You don't want it oozing out, but you do want it to stick. Apparently, okay. There we go. Now we're gonna take our little house like this and line it up with your marks on the peak. The front and the back. And then there you have it. Now make sure that you're lined up about a 1/4 inch all the way around. See that, okay? And then you're finished. Now you can put this on your mantle this way or this way. Okay, that's complete. And if you put a candle in there, it's gonna shine through that window. All right, so let me show you how to cut your paper for if you wanted to decorate it. So let's take this piece of paper here and cut that to 6 3/4. Oops. I want it to go this way. Okay, I want the tall part to be 6 3/4, so I had to turn it. So 6 3/4 by 4 1/4. Alrighty, then what you're gonna do is take this piece to your house. Alright, this would be your house. This is just a piece I didn't cut down. This would be your house. You would just lay your house down like so. Mark the center of this too. Ruler. And this was 1 inch, 4 1/4. So we're gonna mark it at 2 1/8. That's our center. Take it to your piece over here. And line this up with that mark. Okay, lay this on top of your pattern paper and make sure you have about 1/8 of an inch on each side. Draw your line. You're gonna cut that with your scissors or on your paper trimmer. And that's that for the pattern paper. Then you would just glue that on the front. And for the 7 inch, it fits the 7 inch house. So if you wanted it to be, your house was going to be, let's say, 9 inches tall, you would just cut that a quarter inch smaller in the height. So that piece would be still 4 1/4 by 8 3/4. So for a 5 inch, you would cut 4 1/4 by 4 3/4. And then mark the center and then do your peak. Okay, I hope that was helpful. All right, enjoy making these houses. Line them up on your mantle, and I'll show you a picture of what mine looks like. And give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and share. Have a great day.